All right. Good evening, Howard County Democrats, friends, and family. My name is Shahan Rizvi. I am chair for the Howard County Democratic Central Committee. I want to welcome you tonight to the swearing in of our newest Howard County Democratic Central Committee member, Ms. Jackie Scott. Ms. Jackie Scott is a activist, a hard worker, a lifelong Howard County resident, home here for her for 25 years. She and her husband have raised three children in the county, all who've attended Howard County Public Schools. She has an very impressive professional service record, doing some really amazing work in the county. She's got a really long list of accomplishments, and I probably won't be able to spend the whole meeting covering all of them because there's just so much good work she's done. But some highlights include, she spent 10 years as a senior fellow and adjunct professor at Georgetown Law. That was a very important time, a great work she was doing there, helping in areas of public health, law, house, focused on gender and equity issues as well. Jackie has done some great work in the county as well. And we're just so delighted to welcome her expertise on the Central Committee. She's also volunteered in local Democratic clubs here, including the Columbia Democratic Club, and really spending a lot of her time, her energy, her hard-earned dollars in electing Democrats. And so we're very delighted to utilize that energy and that passion to help good Democrats get elected. So we welcome Jackie Scott, and you'll hear from her a little bit later today, but we've got some great elected officials here with us to welcome Jackie Scott to this event. And I want to get started in high gear with a very important person to the Central Committee. Our Howard County Executive, Dr. Calvin Ball, is here with us. Dr. Ball, we just want to thank you once again for your commitment to the Democratic Party, to Howard County, supporting us through this very long pandemic, ensuring county services stay strong, and just doing some very good work in the county. Thank you for everything you're doing for us, sir. As always, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Shahan. Really appreciate your continued dedication and passion. And I want to just start off by thanking the entire Central Committee. Again, making sure that Democrats get elected is something that is vital to the quality of life and the future of our community, because we know that when Democrats are elected, the best decisions for our todays and tomorrows are made. And we are a very big tent, diverse group, which means we don't always agree. But even when we don't agree, we can be civil, we can be respectful, and we can be inclusive. And I am here tonight, not just to thank you, but to welcome to the Central Committee someone who is a dear friend of mine. And Shahan, in your very gracious introduction to me, you talked about how we were able over the last several years to help ensure that during this pandemic, no one was forgotten. One of the most important central figures to that for Howard County was Jackie Scott. When Jackie Scott isn't just being a wonderful Democrat and volunteering her time, during the day, she is someone who works tirelessly leading the Howard County Department of Community Resources and Services, not only one of the largest departments in all of county government, but the one that looks out for folks who are homeless, folks who are hungry, folks who sometimes just need clothes on their back or someone to let them know that they're being seen. And Jackie is one of the few people who is able to combine a deep compassion with a broad intellect. Jackie's one of the most thoughtful people who I know, who really cares about her neighbors, but she's also, and those of you who don't know, one of the most brilliant people I know. And she is super sharp and someone who is able to not only aspire to great things for our community, but inspire so many other leaders around our county, our state, and our nation. And so I'm very glad that the Central Committee welcomed Jackie. I think that she will complement all of the wonderful skills, talents, abilities, and love for our community, our party, and our future that already exists with the Central Committee. And I am very honored, not just to be your county executive, but frankly, to be your neighbor and your friend. Welcome, Jackie.
Dr. Calvin Ball, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, County Executive. We really appreciate your time and all the great work you're doing for us in the county. And we're 100% behind you for your reelection, sir. We're standing with you 100%. All right, moving on. I do want to also respect many folks we have here in Annapolis doing some great legislation, some work for us in these really crazy times, advancing the good work of Democrats. I want to respect their time for being here with us. So I'd like to turn it over if Dr. Lam, or if you're with us, sir, there he is, Dr. Lam. We'd like to welcome Senator Lam. He's currently there in Annapolis right now, working on some very important legislation to help advance Howard County citizens. Dr. Lam, the floor is yours, sir.
Sure. Thank you, Shahan. The timing is perfect. We just adjourned off of the Senate floor, and I'll touch on why that's so important in a second. But I want to thank you and all the members of the Central Committee for all of your hard work. This is obviously an election year, as Dr. Ball mentioned. It's going to be a lot of work coming up, but I'm always amazed that people are willing to apply for these positions. As a former member of the Howard County Democratic Central Committee, I know how much work it is, having sat in the same seats and shoes that you are in right now, especially during an election year. There are lots of meetings and events and lawn signs that need to be put out, lit drops that need to occur, phone banks that need to be organized, postcards that need to go out. And the beauty about bringing new members in, especially during an election year, is not only that it brings in new blood, but it also brings in new energy. And that energy is definitely what Jackie Scott brings to the Howard County Democratic Central Committee. So it's really wonderful to see her as the new and latest addition to this wonderful organization. I've known Jackie for many, many years, and it goes way back, first as a candidate and as a constituent, and most recently now the director of the department, the county's Department of Community Resources and Services. She wears many hats and many titles, as you've seen in her bio, but her amazing work in the community always shines through, whether it's with the Columbia Democratic Club or the Howard County NAACP or the African American Coalition of Howard County. These are all really important organizations that are linchpins throughout our community and do a lot of great community building. And so Jackie really comes from the community, and it's really evident that she truly cares. She truly cares about people. She cares about good policy. She cares about good politics and about getting Democrats elected. As many of you may also know, I serve on the board of the Community Action Council, and the Community Action Council is one of the county's leading anti-poverty organizations, is a strong partner with a lot of the work that Jackie does as a Department of Community Resource and Support. And anytime that we have someone who's in need in the county, a family who's struggling, or an individual who may be going through a health crisis, or a single parent who's struggling to help with their child, Jackie is always there to partner with the Community Action Council, who knows all the community partners and how to connect them with resources that are available in the county and throughout our nonprofit community. She really is a champion. And what Dr. Ball just said about how elections matter because we just got off the Senate floor and passed the Time to Care Act that the House, and I see some House members here that are joining us tonight, just passed earlier today too. They passed it yesterday, we passed it today. So it's headed off to the governor's desk tomorrow. In all likelihood, the governor will veto this. But that's why we pass it early, so that we can override the veto before we adjourn and make sure that this really important piece of legislation, this guarantees 24 weeks of paid leave for a sick child or loved one. This makes it a little bit easier for folks like Jackie to be able to do her job, to ensure that there are resources and programs available for those in our community who are in incredible need. But that's also why, as Dr. Ball mentioned, elections really, really do matter. And without the support of all the folks like yourself as part of this really important team, we would not be able to have a Democratic majority in our legislature. We would not have a Democratic majority in our county council, and we would not have Dr. Ball as our wonderful county executive. And that's why we're so pleased to be here to support Jackie in her role here. A lot of hard work. But when you look at Jackie's background and resume and everything she's done, I think she lives, eats, and breathes hard work. So she is up to this task. I'm really pleased to join my colleagues here to support her and welcome her to the Central Committee.
Senator Dr. Clarence Lam, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Lam. Really,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
Jackie.
much. I really
Congratulations.
thank you.
All right, moving into the agenda. Next up, I'd like to welcome a friend of the Central Committee, no stranger to Central Committee work, very in tune with the local party and getting good Democrats elected and understanding why Central Committees are so important. I'd like to next welcome Delegate Terri Hill. Dr. Delegate Terri Hill, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. And thank you to all the members of the Central Committee for all the work that you do. Good evening to all of our elected representatives and thank you for all the work that you continue to do. So first of all, Shahan, when you said, Jackie's lifelong Howard County and 25 years, I said, well, Jackie a little bit older than 25, well, just a little bit. Because I've known Jackie for what, at least 25 years, right? Pushing on 30.
Just a little.
And, can only echo everything that's been said so far. Jackie is certainly one of the people in county government that I have been able to call when I have a constituent, living out of a car or I've got an issue, and she has never failed to answer, never failed to provide services over the holidays, over the weekend. It doesn't matter. And I know that that's because that's where her heart is, not just because that's her job, it's because that's where her heart is. And it's been just wonderful seeing Jackie come back to work in the county after working in those hoity-toity places down at Georgetown and all that kind of stuff, where I know she did a good job and was well respected, but we need to keep our homegirl here because we need you for all the skills that you bring. And now you're bringing it to the Central Committee. And I know that Jackie not only knows what it is to campaign for other folks and on issues and to take policy, she knows what it's like to be a candidate. She knows what it's like to run, forums. She knows what it's like. There's nothing about the job that you folks on the Central Committee do to help keep our party alive, to help keep those of us in elected office, doing the work so we don't have to worry so much about getting elected and coming. I mean, you make it easy for us to do what we have to do because you take a little bit of that load off us. And nobody knows all the ins and outs of what that takes better than Jackie. So I think that it is a win-win. It's a win. I'm gonna make it a win-win-win. It's a win for the Central Committee. It's a win for Jackie. It's a win for all of us who either are in or aspire to be in elected office. And that means it's also a win for the Democrats of Howard County, which makes it a win for Howard County, and it's a win for Maryland. So it really is. I'm just pleased that you found some free time. I guess the executive must not be working you too hard these days, or you have taken care of the homeless problem, which many of us swore, this is a small size thing here in Howard County, and we ought to be able to get rid of homelessness, within a decade. So that must be what's going on now. We don't have people with needs anymore because you've done such a great job. But however you found the time, I'm just glad that you have and look forward to working with you. So congratulations, and your husband and those 3 grown children are gonna have to find somebody else to pick on.
I know, right? He's sitting right here shaking his head like, oh my goodness. Thank you.
Delegate Terri Hill, thank you so much, Delegate. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Okay, moving on, also doing great work in Annapolis and also Howard County House Delegation Chair. I'd like to welcome Delegate Jessica Fellmark, doing great work for the residents of District 12. Please welcome Delegate Fellmark.
Thank you. Thank you, Shahan, for inviting me to be a part of this special evening. I was so excited and honored when you invited me to be part of tonight's celebration of Jackie for her joining the Democratic Central Committee. You know, Jackie is one of my favorite people, and we have worked together in a lot of different roles. We've worked together as colleagues in county government. We've worked together in my, consulting role with nonprofits when she was one of my, my main funder. We've worked together. Certainly, I depend on her a lot in my role as delegate. As my colleagues have said before, when we have constituent issues, when we have problems to resolve, Jackie is just a tremendous resource and so dedicated to serving our constituents. And last but certainly not least, I've had the honor and privilege and thrill of working with you in political life, and throughout all those areas there is a striking consistency, right? And that consistency is democratic values, right? Those democratic values are your core values. They are your core being. And that's why you're so consistent in any, any realm you're working in. There's that solid foundation that makes you a joy to work with and just a tremendous advocate and asset for our community. Thinking about my Dem story, right? And the project around that. When I think about Jackie and her Dem story, it is every chapter of her life, right? It's who she is. Those values just imbue all of it. So, I want to thank and congratulate the Central Committee on a tremendous addition to your team. You all are an amazing Central Committee that really works hard for the party, for the electeds, and for the people of Howard County, right? Like, this is the work you do to get Democrats elected shapes the quality of life for the people of Howard County, right? It makes a difference. These, as my colleagues and the county executive have said, right? We know elections matter. We know that these consequences are real for the day-to-day impact on people's lives. Jackie's a great pick because she is both a tactical strategist, right? She thinks about how to get to the goal accomplished, right? And she is also a moral compass in the journey. She is a cheerleader and a coach, right? She will encourage and inspire and motivate. And when a fire needs to be lit, she will light the fire, right? And lastly, she's a great pick because she works hard. Right? Jackie does not believe in checking boxes. Jackie solves problems, right? And we know we've got a lot of work ahead of us, right? This is going to be a tough year. It's going to be a great year, but it's going to be a tough year. And I want to thank all of you for the work you're already doing and the work that lies before us. And just so thrilled, Jackie, to have you on board to join the Central Committee as we go through this exciting election year that lies before us. So So congratulations and thank you everyone for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Delegate Jessica Fellmark, District 12. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Delegate. Okay, we are also blessed with several members of the Howard County Courthouse slate protecting us here locally in several different ways. I want to welcome stalwart Democrat, longtime Politico, and a longstanding Register of Wills for Howard County, doing great work. Also, one of the first LGBTQ representatives to be elected out of Howard County. Just a tremendous proud for that community in the work he's been doing. And so please welcome our Register of Wills, Byron MacFarlane.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Shahan. Congratulations, Jackie. I'm really excited to be here to join you tonight and to see so many friendly faces. I have not known Jackie for 30 years, but I met her. I met Jackie, I remember when she filed a run for Board of Ed, and we connected and we got coffee, and I was very pleased to support your campaign and to vote for you. Even though that didn't work out, you, as other people have said, you have continued to serve this community in a different way, in many different ways, and particularly work-wise. One of my, and I hope we can get back to doing this in person, one of my favorite events every year is the 50 Plus Expo, which is a terrific opportunity for me and my staff to get folks, not only in Howard County, but all over the state, who come to this event. It's an incredible event. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people come for information about how to protect themselves and their families. It's sort of usually a really long day of me explaining what a will is over and over again for 8 or 9 hours. But anyway, that's obviously something that's under her purview in her office, and it's always an expertly run affair, and they've managed also to make sure that they continue to give opportunities to get information, really important information, out to people during the pandemic. So we've still been able to get information out to folks even though we haven't been able to be in person, and that's really important. You know, I am really excited about this year. Like Senator Lam, I'm no stranger to the Central Committee. I served on the Central Committee at the time. I was the youngest member ever elected. Safa beat me by a couple of years when she got elected a couple of years ago. It's nice to break barriers, and it actually, to me, is kind of a source of pride when someone breaks it again in another way. So, you know, I'm excited about this year. Delegate Feldmark said, you know, it's going to be a tough year. I keep telling people, while the pundits say this is going to be a bad year for Democrats, I don't know if it is. I don't know if it isn't. What I know is this, is that because we've had a strong party, because we have had strong leadership on our Central Committee, and because you have helped elect people like our county executive, our legislators, and a Democratic courthouse for the first time in forever, we have a terrific record to run on. And that is what you are going to help us take to the people. And that's why it's going to be a great year for Democrats. You know, I thought it was interesting, you know, we have a rematch in our county executive race. And after the former county executive announced, and you know, people I know we have Republican estates and trust lawyers, so I talk to them and I say to them, okay, well, all right, Alan's running again. Where would you rather have lived during this time, during this pandemic, than Howard County? Silence. You know, under the leadership of Calvin Ball, we have weathered this as best as anyone could have. He immediately put a team together of all of our department heads. We had regular meetings every single week so that we were coordinated. Was that happening in Carroll County? Was that happening in Frederick County? I don't think so. It was happening here, though. And that's, as my fellow elected officials have said, elections have consequences. The county executive said, when Democrats get elected, good decisions get made. That reminds me of a slight variation of that. My friend and mentor, Guy Gazzoni, I have lots of friends and mentors, but Guy Gazzoni says often, when Democrats get elected, good things happen. And as you look at my fellow colleagues here, Delegate Hill, Senator Lam, Delegate Feldmark, they have each been doing not just checking off boxes work over the last 3 years. They have rolled up their sleeves and they're working to make really, really meaningful change in our community, and not just in Howard County, but across the state. I've been working on issues with Delegate Hill over the last few months, things that will have a real positive impact on people's lives. That is what we are about as Democrats. And the differences that we have among ourselves pale in comparison to the differences that we have with people on the other side of the aisle. And I think that we have seen that play out in the legislature. We have seen that play out in local politics, especially in our school board races lately. But I know with Jackie, as a member of our committee, we are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And while we hear, again, a lot of gloom and doom from some Democrats, I want each and every one of us to be fired up and ready to go, because like I said, we have a great, great record to run on. I want to protect every one of our elected Democrats. You know, we've come a long way. When I went to my first political event ever, I was 16 years old. Calvin Ball was the president of the Young Democrats. This is in the late 90s. We had a lot of elected Republicans in Howard County. We're down to just 3. I'd like to be down to just 0. So let's get there. Okay, let's protect the gains that we have made. Those were dark days, weren't they, Calvin? We've come a long way, and we have a long way to go, but we're almost there. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now and just say congratulations, Jackie. I am excited to hit the pavement with you. Let's win this election big for us and for the people of this county. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Register of Wills, Byron MacFarlane. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great message to Democrats. It's important as ever to get out there. We need to protect our elected leadership here. County Executive Calvin Ball has done such great work, as is our courthouse slate, and we need to make sure we get good Democrats elected up and down the ballot. Very important. I'd like to next welcome, I think this will probably be our last person for today, speaking wise, our first African-American sheriff, elected sheriff. We are so delighted to see him. I swear he must have like maybe a 97% approval rating, because everyone I know has nothing but great things to say about the sheriff. Just a great smile every time you see him, and just a delightful person overall. Please welcome Sheriff Marcus Harris. Sheriff, you out there?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, Sean, for those kind words. Jackie, I didn't know I was going to speak tonight, but I really wanted to be here. I found out about it today, and I wasn't going to miss it. Everything, I don't know you as well as everyone else does, but everything I hear about you is great. And I'm new at this as far as, well, I'm not new anymore. I'm going on my 4th year, but this will be my 2nd time running. And I can tell you how important the Central Committee is. These guys do a great job, and you have to be dedicated. Real quick, I was at a forum last night, and I was talking to a young lady who is running for Central Committee, and I'm praying that she doesn't win. I'm just going to be honest with everyone, because I was asking her, I asked her a few questions, and I just don't think she understands how important our Central Committee is and the type of work that you guys do on the Central Committee and how important you are to getting us elected. So I think that it's very important that we have people like you, Jackie, to help us get elected, because we can't do this on our own. We all don't have, you know, the Calvin Ball army, right? So who I'll be wearing a lot of that shirt this year. I truly appreciate Dr. Calvin Ball. He's been great to me my first 4 years in office, by the way, if he's still here. But Jackie, I just want to say congratulations. I think you're a great addition. I think Shahan and those guys do a great job. They know what they're doing. And it sounds like you've been around for a while anyway. So it's not like you're going to have to learn the ropes to get this thing done to help us get elected. And it's important that, I'm like Byron, I'm sorry, let's get this number down to 0. Let's really try to work hard to get this number down to 0. Because I think that if we don't win, the county loses. So I just want to say congratulations, Jackie. If you need anything, it's not hard to contact me. I'm here for you. And I know you're going to be here for me and all the rest of us Democrats that are running for these positions. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you for everything you're doing to protect us, to keep us safe. We really appreciate you, and thank you for being here. Folks, we are ready to get on with the swearing in ceremony for why we're all here, to have Jackie Scott cross over to the other side. And to help us with that, we have our clerk of the court, Mr. Wayne Robey, to conduct our swearing in. Mr. Robey, please take it away. We can't hear you, Mr. Robey.
Might be the headphones.
Might be the headphones.
How about now?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying, Miss Scott, I'm the best looking one on the courthouse team. So don't let the sheriff, try to fool you. If you could please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jackie Scott,
I, Jackie Scott,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States.
that I will be faithful
I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the duties
execute the duties
of a member of the Howard County Democratic Central Committee. As a member
as a member of the Howard County Democratic Central Committee,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of this state.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our newest member of the Howard County Democratic Central Committee, Miss Jackie Scott. Miss Jackie Scott, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, to look out here on this screen and see so many of you who, you're right, supported me when I decided to dip my toe in the water years ago and run for the Board of Education, and those of you who have been friends and colleagues in so many different ways. It is just humbling and heartwarming. Those of you, you talked about my work, and I'm the kind of person who's I'm head down trying to get it done, right? And I'm oftentimes most times not thinking about or worried about who gets the credit. I'm focused on getting the result. And there are times that you do stop though, and you say, hey, does anybody know I'm here? Or is it really making a difference? Am I doing the right thing? Am I on course? Is this right? And it's times like this where it's yeah, you're making a difference. It's okay, keep going. And it's humbling to know that so many of you were thinking of me during this time and took time out, not just to be here, but also before this to say yes to having me join this team. It means a lot. I also take it very seriously. There is a lot of work to be done, a lot of good opportunity. And yet, I mean, we have to be head down, laser focused on getting results and be determined at every level, because no election is minor. Every election matters. School board, all the way through county council, are protecting our county executive seat and impacting what happens in Annapolis, that governor's seat. I mean, at every level, because the strategy on the other side is real. They are picking off at the local level our school boards, changing what our kids can read, changing what people can teach, changing what can be said. We have to be laser focused. Annapolis, we got to support everything. We got to support you there because it makes a difference. And so know that I am all in and so ready to work. And yeah, it's going to be hard, but that's all right. We're okay with hard, right? We're okay. We can do this with hard, right? And hard is fun. We'll get out there together and have some fun making it work. And I just appreciate each of you having enough trust in me to say, hey, here's a seat at the table. And I'm looking forward to learning. There's so much that I can continue to learn from each of you, from all that you have done. I learn every day from my county executive. I learn every day from watching each of you in Annapolis. And it has just taught me so much. And it's because you all do what you do every day that made me want to be in this seat at this important time. So it has really made a difference. So I just thank you. And I thank my family, my husband and my kids and my family all over who have been always cheering me on, and who I couldn't do any of this without their support and with their continued, encouragement to do the things that I've always wanted to do and to step out there and to use my voice and to use the gifts and talents that I've been given to help other people. And so this is what I see. So I'm so glad to be a part. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. And Jahan, the fearless leader, I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Jackie Scott. You clearly are well loved. Look at the room here of all the people that are excited, all the smiling faces to see you in this seat. And we're just really excited to get started and hit the ground running to get good Democrats elected alongside with you. And one point you touched on that really meant a lot to me. And when you were talking about your service and how you tend to find yourself just, putting your head down and just getting the work done. I mean, that's exactly what we want out of a Central Committee member. I mean, we're not looking for voices or, someone just talking and not doing the work. We need folks doing the work. And clearly you're going to be there in a very pivotal time for us where we need to get back the governor's seat and to continue to help Democrats get elected in the midterms. So thank you again for serving. We're so delighted to have you here. I'm going to turn it over next to a few of our Central Committee members, and I'm going to ask them to please keep it brief, just to say anyone that would like to jump in and say anything to Ms. Jackie Scott. Central Committee members go. Okay, I think I see Dr. Lilhands first. Dr. Lillian Norris Holmes, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Jackie, so happy to have you. I have only known you 4 months, and I met you at my home here for one of the meet and greets. And then the second time I met and talked with you was at a Christmas party. And then, but I was really looking for you to join my advisory board for Common Cause. So, and then I saw you, I was registering and I saw your name in the resource guide when I went to apply to and that was the third time. So I knew then I had to find you. I didn't know your number or anything. So I went to the yellow pages. My yellow pages are Maybill.
All right, thank you, Miss Lily. May, go ahead. Maybill, our coach.
I am just so.
May, before you go, I just want to mention to everybody, Maybill has just been selected our newest co-chair, by the way, for everyone on this call. She is now the co-chair of our Central Committee. I want to just take this moment to welcome her to her new position. May, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I am just so excited and delighted that Jackie joined us. She and I, we go back so many years. Even when she was running for school board, I was right there with her. And she was a part of my continental societies. So she is a hard worker. She's dedicated, committed, and she has a desire to serve. And I've always enjoyed working with her on any event or any program that she had. If she called me, I was there. If I call her, she's there. She's a person that we can be so proud of. And I know when Lil called me, I said, I'm going to get Jackie. And Jackie would tell you, I called her. I said, Jackie, you got to join. I just pulled out all the stops and I finally convinced her. And so here she is, and welcome. I think we made a great choice when we decided to bring you on board. And I know you're going to add value to this committee.
Thank you.
I just want to say real quick, for those of you who don't know, I've had the pleasure of working with Jackie for the last 4 years, and I've learned so much from her over these 4 years. She's so empathetic and compassionate, and everything that she does, she puts her heart in. So Jackie, I'm so excited to work with you in this new capacity as well. We're going to change the world together one of these days.
Thank you, Safa.
Thank you for those great remarks, Ms. Safa Hira. Was there anybody else on Central Committee that had anything else to say before we conclude? Oh, I think we have Ms. Nichols, Jessica Nichols. Go ahead, please.
Hey there, Jackie. I am super excited that you're on the team. I know that with your energy and your enthusiasm and your knowledge base, you've already been an asset, but you are also going to be just such a great game changer here on the Central Committee. I am pleased to serve with you, and I cannot wait to continue to get to know you better. I'm extremely excited, and I'm so glad that you applied. I'm so glad that you said yes. I'm so glad that you. So, welcome, and see you later.
Thanks, Jessica.
Okay. Last chance. Anybody else on Central Committee?
If I could also say, you know, we mentioned the Columbia Democratic Club, but I also can't forget Thurgood Marshall Democratic Club. You know, being there from the beginning in that club, and the mentorship that Ethel, Terri, that your mom had always gave me, and the encouragement and the advice and the strength and the keeping me accountable, keeping me going. And then the work that starting that club meant, and have everybody still right there cheering me on. And Rachel, thank you so much for being here and continuing to be a part of my team. Rachel was my treasurer when I ran for school board. Yes. And all I had to do is kind of text her and say, hey, Rachel, guess what I'm getting ready to do? She's like, yep, what do you need? And that's the kind of community we are. And that's the kind of community we are as Democrats. And that is what matters. And so, I just wanted to end on that high note to say thank you.
Yes, congratulations to you. Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much, Jackie Scott. Folks, this concludes our program. I want to thank you all again for being here. We need good Democrats to be elected up and down the ballot. Please get out there. Please find out how you can get involved. Jackie mentioned some great clubs here locally. There's the Columbia Democratic Club, the Thurgood Marshall Democratic Club, the Howard County Young Democrats, our Ellicott City and Western Howard County Democratic Club. Please find a way to connect with us. Howard County Democratic Party is our Facebook page. Find us on the same HOCO Dems on our Instagram. Connect with us. Find out how you can get involved. The party needs you, and we welcome you once again. And thank you for joining us. This concludes our program.
Thank you, Wendy and Sterling, for representing the family from New Jersey. So you guys know I'm originally from New Jersey, so my family represented there. Thank you so much.
Congratulations again, Jackie. Very exciting. Excellent. Thank you.
And welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Madam Co-Chair. Thank you both.
Congratulations,
Good
Jackie.
night, everyone. Thank
Good
you.
night,
Congratulations,
everyone.
Jackie.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Friends, thank you.
Thank you.